Welcome to Ms. Machen's section 2.4 in your text, Consumer Education and Economics, Evaluating Information Sources. Thinking critically. Do you believe everything you read in here? Smart consumers examine information carefully before deciding whether to accept it as true. They use critical thinking skills, which means applying reasoning strategies in order to make sound decisions, good decisions. They evaluate information. They look at what's fact and what's opinion. And they draw conclusions. They find out what the source is of the information. Who's the author? Is it a reputable author, or is it somebody that nobody knows? Do they cite specific information? So, is the information coming from a reputable source? Watch out for anonymous writers, because anonymous writers basically means they're not willing to put their name to the work that they just wrote. So that means you can't trace it back to them. So I don't ever trust anything I get from anonymous writers. What expertise do they have? It's good to find out the people who give this knowledge to you, whether or not they have credentials, which are licenses, certifications, degrees that indicate they have knowledge or expertise. An example is an MD. Okay, so you know if you go to a doctor and they're an MD that he or she is probably a reputable source. Other factors that you might consider is the information factor opinion. Do not rely just on opinions, because everybody has a different one, including you. So the opinion you have may not be the same as the one you're reading about. Is it suspicious in any way? If it's too good to be true, it usually is. That's something that is always good to remember. So don't believe it if they're offering you, instant $500 or a free TV or whatever. If it's too good to be true, it usually is. Consumer protection agencies are the FTC, which is the Federal Trade Commission, the FDIC, which is the Federal Consumer Information Center, the Consumer Union, which we talked about, I think, a little bit in Chapter 1, and the Better Business Bureau, or the BBB. Consumer Reports magazine is a magazine that comes out that gives factual information on products that have been tested in a lab type setting. So it's not just opinions, it's actual experiments that they have run, scientific experiments. Again, gives information about products and compares them to similar products. Professional advisors. Some people hire professionals to advise them on financial matters such as taxes and insurance and investments. These people have expertise in a certain field. Make sure that they have credentials, like we talked about earlier. Media sources. TV, radio, newspapers, magazines, and media websites provide a mixed bag of consumer information. Some of it, such as news reports and alerts that alert consumers about hazardous products, is reliable and even essential. So TV, radio, magazines, newspapers, and internet. They always let us know, hopefully anyway, reports that alert us about hazardous products or rip-off. You need to recognize fact or opinion. Once again, just because a person feels a certain way or thinks a certain way about a particular product doesn't mean that it's fact. It could be just their opinion. Package information. Labels and package inserts often identify what a product is made of and give directions for using it properly. For example, the ingredients, the parts, etc. Sometimes on the package they have warranty, and it will cover the repair costs for a certain amount of time. So it's always good to look for that, especially if you're buying something expensive. Advertising. Advertisements and other marketing materials can keep you up to date on available products and help you compare prices. They're always biased, always, because they have an interest in selling used products. So be careful. Always, like I said before, get opinions and read information from other sources, from sources that actually are reputable and have credentials. Salespeople and other consumers. If you have questions about a product, salespeople and customer service representatives can often help. However, some salespeople are more knowledgeable than others, obviously. Information also could be biased because they're just trying to sell you a product. So they have an interest because the more they sell, the more money they make. Sometimes it's good to talk to other consumers because, and I like to do this too when I'm buying something over the internet, I look at the product reviews from other consumers. If I see a lot of people who don't like it, then chances are I probably won't buy it. So other consumers are people who've already used or purchased the product, and how did it work for them? Using information effectively. Use information to shop wisely for products, plan your finances, steer clear of fraud, organize the information you find. It can help you make better use of it. For example, if you've done some research on several competing products, you might list the pros and cons on each, or make a table comparing their features. So create a chart or table to compare products.